You know what it is. It's your man, Jay Woo.
And your girl, Chachi La Muñeca from Who Got Next Radio every Tuesday night.
10 p.m. Eastern right here on Jess TV via Roku Nationwide live.
From Florida!
That's right.
Shawty wanna flirt, but she got a man. Tell me why it's always gotta be.
Hey, Alvin Jameson here, the mortgage guy. Are you looking to get pre-approved for a home loan? Or maybe you want to build a house from the ground up? Are you curious, or better yet, is your significant other on your back about making renovations in your current home? Call me. I have options for you. All self-employed individuals. Are you torn between writing off all your income or having to show your income to qualify for a house? I have a third alternative for you. Whether you're a W-2 employee, self-employed individual looking to do a purchase or pull money out of your current house, or better yet, we can't forget the investors out there. If you have that high interest rate, hard money loan and looking to refinance out of it, again, give me a call. I have options. Below are the states that I'm personally licensed in. Call me, 404-587-9033. Again, 404-587-9033. Visit the website, alvinjameson.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's time for Who Got Next Radio.
Hey, y'all, it's your girl London B, and straight out of Philly, you are now listening to Philly Jams on God.
I know, man. I come from Jamaica, I come like this. You come up.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Zipmouth Motivation Podcast. You know, where we keep it real, raw, and authentic, and always inspirational. So, y'all know, the last season we had a lot of guests, and everybody was like loving the guests because I was getting a lot of good feedback. And we are about to end this season, and so we're going to end this season with a bang, boom, pow. So we have Terry. He's going to come on. I'm going to let him tell you all about him, because I don't want to unshine somebody, and I love for people to shine on my show. So I believe this is going to be something inspirational, impactful. He will talk about his business. He will talk a little bit about his past life. And then y'all definitely go and follow him. Y'all know I always say that. Go follow him, subscribe, go on his website, whatever services he offers. Please go and get those services, because that is the whole purpose of me having people on the show, so that you can see that there is so much support out there for you to be great every single day. Hello, how you doing, Terry?
Domasha, I'm great. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, I'm excited. Be excited, because you know, I'm a little wacky sometimes, but that's okay.
It's good to be wacky.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So tell the people who you are, where you're from, what you do.
Sure. So I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. You can't tell this from looking at me or from my voice, but I'm 6'8" tall, and actually went to college at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina on a basketball scholarship. When I graduated from college, I moved home to find a job. I'm really going to date myself now, but this was long before the internet was available to help people find employment. Fortunately, I found that first job in the corporate headquarters of Wendy's International, the hamburger chain, in their marketing department. That was the good news. The bad news was I lived with my parents for the next 3.5 years as I helped my mother care for my father and my grandmother, who were both dying of different forms of cancer. After Wendy's, I actually went to work for the hospital that cared for my father and my grandmother. I thought they did such a great job that I wanted to be part of that. And then at 37, made a major pivot in my life and became a police officer. And part of what I did during my law enforcement career was I was a SWAT hostage negotiator. After that, I started a school security consulting business, coached girls high school basketball. But for the last 13 years now, I've been battling a rare form of cancer, a rare form of melanoma. And then finally, my wife and I have been married for 32 years. We have one child, a daughter, who's a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy and is an officer in the new branch of the military, the Space Force.
Oh, wow. Terry, now see, I knew you came with a lot. I knew that.
It's old.
No. You look, you said before internet, you look good to be your age. You are not old, you're aging just fine.
Thank you.
Can you tell me just a little bit about how you grew up? Because, like everything that you done shows like you were really motivated, you were really supported, but I don't know. So I want you to tell me about it.
I was. I mean, my mom and dad, I have, like I said, I have two brothers. We all played college sports. We all went to college on my brother and I went on basketball scholarships. My other one went to the University of Notre Dame as a pitcher for their baseball team. And then my middle brother actually was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the National Basketball Association when he graduated from college. So sports was a huge part of our family growing up. And our parents modeled, I think, what family was all about, of loving each other, caring for each other, and supporting each other. I'm still tight with my brothers. Even today, we talk all the time on the phone. Right. They're in Chicago. I'm in Denver. And they're both in education. And if you asked me what I did with my life, I would tell you I was a police officer. So our parents really, I guess, modeled what they felt was important, which was service, which was of giving back to the communities where you live and things like that. So I had a great childhood growing up. It was all about sport, and our parents supported us all the way through it.
Right. So it was 3 boys, no girls.
No girls. I have no sisters, no.
I have 2 boys, so that's why I was like 3 boys, no girls. I think we have fun, like I'm the only woman here. I'm outnumbered, but it's okay. Like it's fun. Boys are fun.
That's exactly what it was growing. We used to. So I'm 6'8". I got a brother 6'7", a brother 6'6", and my dad was 6'5". And we used to joke that if you sat behind our family in church growing up, there wasn't a prayer's chance you were going to see anything that was going on, in the front of the church. But our 5'8" mother was the boss. It didn't matter how big, tall, strong we were. Whatever mom said, that's the way it went.
That's the way it went. Understood. That's how it goes in my house. They're both they're taller than me. One's 6'3", the other one is 6'1", and I'm 5'3". So
there you go. But you're still the boss, right?
I'm still the boss. So what were the demands physically that basketball had on your mindset? How was it getting into that sport? Because you had that encouragement, but it's kind of like when you go off away from your parents, it's a little different. So what was that like for you?
Yeah, I was incredibly lucky. I started, we were living in actually Columbus, Ohio at the time. We were from Chicago. We ended up moving back to Chicago where I went to high school. And I just happened to get on a recreational league team in the area that we live, right, where the son of the assistant basketball coach at Ohio State was also one of my teammates. And so that opened up all kinds of horizons for me. I got to go to the Ohio State basketball camp and things like that. And the more I played basketball, the better I got at it. And the better I got at it, the more I wanted to play it. And so it was fun. I liked doing it. And then in high school, I ended up having 3 knee surgeries as a result of a basketball injury.
Right.
And that's when the mindset really kind of came into play. I remember when I went back playing basketball after those knee surgeries, my brain was putting all kinds of negative thoughts into my mind. Hey, you're probably a step slower since your surgeries, and coaches aren't going to be interested in recruiting you. And Domasha, I was like, wait a minute, I'm still playing it at a high level, at an elite level, and coaches are still reaching out about the possibility of playing for their college or university. I learned early, like at 15, I needed to change the narrative, to change the negative into something positive into my mind, and that is carried over throughout my entire life.
Right. In that aspect, because I know sometimes I have a lot of young viewers and a lot of sports, like athletes that play. What were some of the things you had to change about that narrative? Like, I know, like you're like, I got these surgeries, nobody's going to want me. How did you changing your mindset, how did that affect your sports?
Sure. So, I mean, it allowed me to focus on what was going right in my life. We tend to like the negative. The brain kind of likes to stay in the negative. And that's not a good place to be. So understand that you're going to have thoughts that pass through your mind. The Cleveland Clinic estimates that we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts that pass through our mind every single day. About 3,500 of those thoughts are new thoughts, not something you've already thought about. And our brain operates at a speed of about 1,000 words a minute. Given all that, your brain can still only hold one thought at a time. Why would you want to make that a negative thought? I think the problem with most people, and I've done this absolutely many times in my life, is that we think with our fears and our insecurities instead of using our minds. We especially when I get a chance to talk to young people, I always tell them, if there's something in your heart, something in your soul that you believe you're supposed to do, but it scares you, go ahead and do it. Because at the end of your life, the things you're going to regret are not going to be those things you did. They're going to be those things you didn't do. And by then it's going to be too late to go back and do them.
Absolutely. I felt that from you because I got teary-eyed because I wish people would get that. Like, just do it scared. It doesn't matter. Do it scared.
Hey, Alvin Jameson here, the mortgage guy. Are you looking to get pre-approved for a home loan? Or maybe you want to build a house from the ground up? Are you curious, or better yet, is your significant other on your back about making renovations in your current home? Call me. I have options for you. All self-employed individuals. Are you torn between writing off all your income or having to show your income to qualify for a house? I have a third alternative for you. Whether you're a W-2 employee, self-employed individual looking to do a purchase or pull money out of your current house, or better yet, we can't forget the investors out there. If you have that high interest rate, hard money loan and looking to refinance out of it, again, give me a call. I have options. Below are the states that I'm personally licensed in. Call me, 404-587-9033. Again, 404-587-9033. Visit the website, alvinjameson.com.
what was your darkest moment, and what helped you push past that with your mindset?
So in 2012, I was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, a rare form of melanoma. And most people think of melanoma as too much exposure to the sun. It affects the melanin, the pigment in our skin. Mine has nothing to do with sun exposure. It's a rare form that appears on the bottom of the feet or the palms of the hands. Mine appeared on the bottom of my foot. And in 2012, I was told I would be dead in 2 years, that medicine had nothing to offer me other than surgery. They had no medications, no therapies, or anything like that. And I thought, well, you gave me a death sentence. Maybe I can try to turn that death sentence into a life sentence. And that's really what I've been trying to do. I don't think about death that much anymore. When I had my leg amputated and I found out I still have tumors in my lungs that I'm treated for, I went with my wife to the mortuary, to the cemetery, and to the church, and I planned my funeral. But because I come on podcasts like yours and I speak to groups in person about motivation and the need to keep moving forward, I actually got some brushback from people who suggested that somehow planning my funeral was in some way defeatist. And I had to remind these folks that, the last time I checked, we're all going to die. I don't think anybody's working on a cure for life right now. Every one of us is going to die, but not every one of us is going to truly live. And I heard a Native American Blackfoot proverb years ago that I absolutely love, and it goes like this: when you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That is like, I thank you to everyone who told him he was like planning his, because it was almost like saying I'm defeated, like I know I'm going to die, and then you switch that thing around. And I know that cancer is always, when people hear that they have cancer, their minds instantly go to, all right, I need to start planning because they told me I'm not, going to live. But just the fact that you motivated yourself to say, wait a minute, I'm still living. I'm still going to enjoy. And I work in a community where there are elderly people and they get a lot of amputees. I'm almost like their end of life person. And so I'm always encouraging them and motivating them. I know you got your leg amputated. I know it's hard. I get it. And I know your arm, and I know I get that, but I need you to still live, still do different things, and sometimes it's hard, but people shake back, and it's so motivating to see them say, you know what, I'm going to play bingo. I'm like, yeah, that's what you should be doing. We don't home and think about all the, like all the crazy stuff. You faced some major life changes. How have you refined and redefined your purpose in life?
I mean, that's a great question. And I think you kind of hit on a really important topic. I think a lot of times we talk about purpose in the singular, like it's one thing in our lives. I can't speak for everybody else, but at least for me, I think that word is plural. Its purpose is. When I was younger, I felt my purpose was to be an athlete, to play ball in college. As I grew up, got into adulthood, I felt my purpose was to eventually really kind of follow in my grandfather's footsteps and get into law enforcement, even though I did other things. And now, in all honesty, as I'm probably coming towards the end of my life, I think my purpose has changed again, to put as much goodness, as much positivity, as much motivation, as much love back into the world as I possibly can with whatever time I have left. So I think it's important. I don't think any of us is here just out of happenstance. If you don't believe me, believe Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning and was a Holocaust survivor during World War II, who said that we shouldn't look at our life in the abstract. that every one of us has a reason, a purpose that we're here. And Domasha, I don't think very few people even look for that purpose, let alone live it in their lives. Let me end with this. There's an entrepreneur by the name of Ed Milet, and he was USA Today gave him the 2023 Entrepreneur of the Year. And he talks about the 4 types of people in the world. And he says the first type are the unmotivated. And he said that's the vast majority of people that you will encounter in your life. The second group he talks about are the motivated. He said it's kind of a carrot and stick approach to life. If I do this, I will get that. He says it's kind of low level, but it works for a lot of people to have a very happy and successful life. The third group he talks about are the inspirational people. The word inspiration coming from 2 words, in spirit. So if you're an inspirational person, you move people with your energy. And then the last group he talks about are the aspirational people, where people aspire to be like you. And sometimes if I'm giving a talk, I'll tell that story and be like, all right, let's see a show of hands. How many people are unmotivated? Nobody ever raises their hands and says, I'm unmotivated. But if you believe Milet, a lot of people that you're going to encounter in your life are absolutely unmotivated. They don't care about what their purpose is, and they sure don't care about living it.
Right. And I love that you touched on the 4 different groups of people, because I don't talk about it much. And I'm glad that you talked about that. And that's a powerful concept for people to think about. And studies show that like between 75 and 80% of the people in the world are unmotivated. And so you have your 1%ers, your 2%ers, your 3, you have your different percentages. But I think that understanding that you have multiple purposes are, like you said, at a young kid, I had this purpose. At a, mid, I had this purpose. Because that's how life goes. Your purpose can change, and you can have many purposes. I think that we get stuck is why people can't find their purpose, is because they think their purpose is one thing, and it's not. It's definitely not. I love that. I love that you spoke on that. Terry, what role does discipline play in your life? Like, what role does being disciplined play in your life?
I think discipline is incredibly important. I named my company Motivational Check. And you think you've got motivation. Motivation is intrinsic. It comes from you. Nobody's going to motivate you to do anything. But I don't think motivation is enough. I think you need 2 other things, and you just hit on one of them: discipline and good habits. So if you're highly motivated, but you're not disciplined and you have terrible habits, it's going to be very hard to be successful in life. If you're incredibly disciplined, but you have bad habits and aren't motivated, again, very highly suspect that you will be anything that you want to be, that you will follow your dreams. So I kind of look at that as sort of a 3-legged stool. You need motivation, you need discipline, and you need good habits. If you're missing any one of those, just like if you had a stool missing one leg, it would be out of balance and off center. So you need those 3 things. I don't think any one of them can operate in a vacuum. It's great that you have discipline, and my wife will tell you, an incredibly disciplined individual. But if I didn't have the motivation and the good habits, I don't think I could be successful in life.
Absolutely. If I was a person coming to you, because I know like the hardest thing for people is creating good habits, what would be some advice you would give about creating the good habits? Because the discipline can be easy if we can learn the creation part. So what would you tell someone?
Well, I'll just give you an example. For example, if you wanted, say you wanted to lose weight, you wanted to go to the gym, you wanted to work out, I would say start small. I would say lay out your clothes every night. Just by your bed. Here, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to go to the gym, lay out my clothes. I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't really want to do that, but your clothes are laid out. And then take that next step. Get up and get dressed in those clothes. And then once you've done that and feel comfortable with that, then maybe even just drive to the gym. You don't have to go in, just drive to the gym. So I guess what I'm saying is incrementally get to the point where you can develop that good habit. I lay out my clothes every night. Okay, that's good. I lay them out. Okay, now I'm going to get dressed in those clothes. I get dressed every morning, but I still don't go to the gym. Then at a point, maybe a week later, now you get in the car, you go to the gym. And then finally you get up, you get dressed, you go to the gym, and you get out of the car and you actually go in and start working out. So you don't have to, I'm going to do it immediately. You can incrementally get yourself comfortable in doing that. And I'll give you a statistic that I heard that kind of blew my mind when I heard it. A third of Americans, so 33% of Americans admit to hitting the snooze button on their alarm every morning at least 3 times. Those snooze buttons, that's usually 15 minutes. 3 times, that's 45 minutes of time that you're really wasting just laying there in bed. What if you use that 45 minutes, as you say, to go to the gym or to form a better habit in your life? That's 45 minutes that you have to do that. Don't hit the snooze button.
Don't hit the snooze button. You got it. Don't hit. I hit the snooze button the other day and I was like, no. What are you doing? I was like, get up. I was like, why did I do that? And I think I was just tired from the week, but I was like, nope, get up. So you touched on motivational.com is what it is, correct?
Motivational check.
Motivationalcheck.com. Let's talk about that for a little bit and see so people can understand what that is and what that could mean for their life.
Sure. So motivationalcheck.com is my blog and my website. And the name Motivational Check came from my time as a police officer. When I was in the police academy, I was a police officer in Cincinnati, Ohio. And that was a phrase, motivational check, that our defensive tactics instructor gave us. And we did some crazy things during the police academy. I remember there was this big apartment building, kind of a ritzy apartment building. We would run like 2 miles to the apartment building, and they had a fountain. And the fountain had about 8 inches of water in it. And we would get into this fountain, and we would do push-ups and sit-ups and all in this fountain, getting all wet and everything, and then run back to the police academy. And so we did kind of some goofy things. But motivational check was a term that you could scream out, you could yell out if you were just having one of those days. And we all had those days. I just don't think I can get through this. This is killing me. I'm really tired right now. And by yelling that out, the rest of the class would respond. We were the 84th recruit class in the academy. We would just yell out 84, basically to let the person know you're not alone. We're in this together. We will get through this together. You don't have to do this by yourself. We will get through this together. And so when I was thinking of a name for my company, motivational check just kept coming up over and over and over. It's something that I don't have to do this by myself. I can help other people and other people can help me be successful in life.
Right. I love that. So if someone wanted to, I know they can read your blog, but if they wanted to get involved, what would they have to do to be able to do that?
To get in touch with me, or
to get in touch with you?
Sure. Just go to motivationalcheck.com. You can leave me a message there. All my social media links are there too. You can just click on them. You have a favorite and things like that, and leave me a message. I love talking to people. I love people who either read my book or listen to a podcast and reach out to me. And sometimes you don't. Does this matter? Are you making a difference? And I'll just give you a quick story. about 6 months ago, I got an email from an individual, or actually they reached out on my website and said, I just listened to your podcast and it was something I really needed to hear today. And I said, great. I said, what was the name of the podcast? And they told me, and I didn't remember it. And so I had to go back and look it up. And it was a podcast I had done 2.5 years ago that this person had heard the episode, and it was something they needed to hear. So what you're doing, what I'm doing, excuse me, this is evergreen. This will be out there 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. And if people need to hear it, hopefully they'll get a chance to listen to it.
And they will, definitely will. What inspired you to start Motivational Check? I know that you were in the, you were a police officer, you know, like you were in the SWAT team, but what made you make the final decision, like, you know what, I need to start this blog, I need to write this book, I need to start reaching out, I need to start doing podcasts? What was your inspiration for that?
Yeah, so it kind of started with podcasting, and I'll give you the story, and it's honestly a true story. I had started the speaking part of Motivational Check right as COVID hit. And as you know, everything shut down. Nobody was doing anything virtually, in person, or anything. And I had a friend of mine reach out and he said, Terry, would you like to be a guest on my podcast? And I said, sure. What's a podcast? I mean, literally, I had no idea. It's like, and he told me, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it. Domasha, I was horrible on my first podcast. I had Post-it notes all around the camera. I'd lean in, I'd read one of the Post-it notes. I provided no value to the audience. I was terrible at it. But then I remembered the first time I drove a car, I wasn't any good at it. You know, the first time I cooked a meal, I think I burned the water. You can't burn the water. But that, the first time I studied algebra, I was not any good at it. But I wanted to be. And so it's now a matter of, I listen to every podcast I've been on. How many times do I use those filler words? Can I have a better story? Can I have a more succinct story? Can I make it better so that, one, the host feels this was time well spent, and two, that our conversation can provide value to the audience? And I've done well over 700 podcasts all over the world where I've been a guest.
You've done a lot.
Started as I was horrible to working at it and trying to be better, and getting to a point now where, I mean, people reach out to me all the time. Hey, could you be a guest? I heard you on this and that. So it's just a matter of something I enjoy. It's purposeful for me. It's kind of what I think I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I think this is part of something that's much bigger than myself.
Hey, Alvin Jameson here, the mortgage guy. Are you looking to get pre-approved for a home loan? Or maybe you want to build a house from the ground up? Are you curious, or better yet, is your significant other on your back about making renovations in your current home? Call me. I have options for you. All self-employed individuals. Are you torn between writing off all your income or having to show your income to qualify for a house? I have a third alternative for you. Whether you're a W-2 employee, self-employed individual looking to do a purchase or pull money out of your current house, or better yet, we can't forget the investors out there. If you have that high interest rate, hard money loan and looking to refinance out of it, again, give me a call. I have options. Below are the states that I'm personally licensed in. Call me, 404-587-9033. Again, 404-587-9033. Visit the website, alvinjameson.com.
Motivation on the brand and going live on the clips on stage. Who got the streets? Me. Who driving heat? Me. Who got the city? Pull up that Billy truck right to them up. Me. Who driving through the water? Me. Who really driving that fight? Me. Back on the water, listen when I speak. Who got the key was tryna hope. Remember back when I was getting broke, pretty they ain't even know me. Told these niggas how to post up on the jet for the grand bust the road. Remember that? I'ma be humble, but I need receipt cause these niggas know. Ain't nothing but me average. Coming out the right with a bad.
How do you separate your identity from your achievements, especially after your career, like in policing, in sports? How do you separate your identity from that? Because I know, like at home, you're honey, like you're honey, and with your daughter, you are definitely daddy.
That's true.
So how do you separate that?
I think for me, it's being part of something that's bigger than me. I have a very strong faith in God. And I honestly feel at this point in my life that God is using my malignancy, my infirmity, to show people his power, his love, his mercy, his grace, his healing. And so I don't get the big head. I'm not a big awards guy or anything like that. It's like, no, I just want to do what I think God is calling me to do now. So I think it's realizing that you're not the center of the earth, that God has put you here for a purpose, and being purposeful for what he wants me to do is really how I kind of stay grounded. And really it's my faith. I always talked about my 3 F's: faith, family, and friends, in that order. That's what's gotten me through my knee surgeries. That's what's gotten me through 13 years of cancer and losing my foot and my leg. It's faith in God. It's a relationship with my family. I mean, when I was a police officer, we'd have a shift and everybody like, come on, we're going out to the bar afterwards. And I'm like, no, I love you guys. I'd lay down my life for you, but I'm not going to the bar with you. I'm going home because my family grounded me. That's where I rejuvenated. That's where I got the battery recharged and stuff like that. Being around people that I knew loved me unconditionally, not for who I was or what I did.
Absolutely. I love that. Terry, was there anything, we didn't talk about your book, but I definitely want you to talk about your book or mention your book so that, and where people can find it, because I feel like, listen, y'all, he has a lot of podcasts out there. I watched a couple of, I was like, he still got more. I listened to, I said, this is amazing, but tell the people the title of your book and where they can find it and what it's about.
Sure. The book is called Sustainable Excellence, 10 Principles to Leading Your Uncommon and Extraordinary Life. And I never expected to write a book. I actually never wanted to write a book. There's sort of an old joke out there that says when we talk to God, it's called prayer. When God talks to us, it's called schizophrenia. So God has never reached out and said, hey, Terry, you should write a book.
Right?
Yeah. But I think what God has done, and this has happened other times in my life, where he puts enough people in my path that start to make the same suggestion over and over and over again. And I'm old enough now that when that happens, I think, oh, I better pay attention to what's going on here. Maybe there's something that God's trying to tell me. So Sustainable Excellence was really born out of 2 conversations I had. One was with a former player. I mentioned I was a girls' high school basketball coach when we lived in Texas, who had moved to the area in Colorado where my wife and I lived with her fiance. And the 4 of us had dinner one night. And I remember saying to her after dinner that I was excited that she was living close and I could watch her find and live her purpose. And to me, she got real quiet for a while. And then she looked at me and she said, well, Coach, what do you think my purpose is? I said, I have absolutely no idea what your purpose is, but that's what your life should be about. Finding the reason you were put on the face of this earth, and there is a reason, using your unique gifts and talents and living that reason. So that was one conversation. And then I had a young man reach out to me on social media and ask me what he thought were the most important things that he should learn, not to just be successful in his job or in business, but to be successful in life. And I didn't want to give him that, get up early, work hard, help out. I didn't want to give him sort of the cliches that we all knew. So I took some time writing some notes and eventually had these 10 thoughts, these 10 ideas, these 10 principles. And so I sent them. And then I stepped back and I was like, well, I got a life story that fits underneath that principle, or I know somebody whose life emulates this principle. Right. So literally during the months I was healing after I had my leg amputated, I sat down at the computer every day and built stories, and they're real stories about real people underneath each of the principles. And that's how sustainable excellence came to be.
Wow. And if someone wanted to purchase Sustainable Excellence, where would they find this book?
So you can go to my website. It's on there, Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, Apple iBooks, anywhere you can get a book online, you can get Sustainable Excellence.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that about your book. And I want to thank you for being on the show. This has been a wonderful time. So on Zipmouth Motivation, I love when the guest leaves the audience with something that they can carry on. It could be a quote, it could be a statement, it could be anything that you want it to be, but I definitely want you to leave them with something that can take them to the next moment, day, time, year, whatever.
Great. Can I leave you with 2?
Yeah, you can leave with me with 4 if you like.
I'll just do 2. I don't want to. So the first one is a line from the book Farewell to Arms, which was written by Ernest Hemingway back in the 40s. And it's a great line. And Farewell to Arms is kind of a semi-autobiographical account of Hemingway's time as an ambulance driver with the Italian army during World War I. And the line is this: life breaks everyone, and afterward, many are stronger at the broken places. So I think it's a great metaphor. Life is going to beat us all to our knees from time to time. But if we can keep moving forward, if we can keep struggling and trying to find our way out of that, when you finally do, you will be stronger, you will be tougher, you will be more resilient than those people who just give in and say, there's nothing I can do about it. So keep moving forward, keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's the first thing I want to say. And this last thing I think is incredibly important. It's more important who you work with and who you work for than it is the work that you do. Find people that care about you. Find people that are willing to invest in you. Find people that want to see you succeed, and hitch your wagon to those people and climb your mountains together.
Okay, Terry, next time you come on my show, just tell me to bring tissue, because this is like the 3rd time you had me like teary-eyed.
That's good. It's good to have our emotions, right?
That is, like you can feel the love of God through you. Like you can feel that when you talk, when you speak, and that is powerful. And so I want people to take that. I want you all to listen, take that, and go watch some of his other podcasts. I watched a couple and they were really good, very passionate person, very just into this motivational inspiration. Let's go to the next level. Let's hire ourselves. And I love the fact that in each one of the podcasts that I watch, you always talked about like how life can, like life goes up and down, and that's okay. And I love that you say that, because this is a constant thing that I tell people. Like, it's okay. Life's gonna beat you up, but guess what? When you get back up, you got a couple of bruises. Go put some ice on. Let's go back to it. So you got to get out there and fight. So I just want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank you for the time and your opportunity. And everyone, please reach out to Terry. He's going to now share his tags, so you can go to his Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever he has, and just be a part. And can you go there ahead and share that for me, Terry?
Sure. I'll just go to motivationalcheck.com, because you can just click on the different websites where I do have social media presence and that. So because I'm not that smart, I just give me one thing, so motivationalcheck.com will get you to the rest of my social media sites.
Absolutely. So as usual, you all, I love you. I respect you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Continue to tune in for more shows. Go follow Terry. And this is Zipmouth Motivation, and we are out.
Hey, Alvin Jameson here, the mortgage guy. Are you looking to get pre-approved for a home loan? Or maybe you want to build a house from the ground up? Are you curious, or better yet, is your significant other on your back about making renovations in your current home? Call me. I have options for you. All self-employed individuals. Are you torn between writing off all your income or having to show your income to qualify for a house? I have a third alternative for you. Whether you're a W-2 employee, self-employed individual looking to do a purchase or pull money out of your current house, or better yet, we can't forget the investors out there. If you have that high interest rate, hard money loan and looking to refinance out of it, again, give me a call. I have options. Below are the states that I'm personally licensed in. Call me, 404-587-9033. Again, 404-587-9033. Visit the website, alvinjameson.com.
You know what it is. It's your man, Jay Wool and DJ Satisfaction, who got next radio on Philly Jams, 95.3 FM.
You just heard powerful, purpose-driven voice of Terry Tucker, former basketball player, officer, mindset warrior, and the founder of motivationalcheck.com. And if your soul is still ringing from something you say, because mine is, good, let it sit in. Let it stretch you, let it renew you, let it encourage you. Because here's the truth. Life is going to test you mentally before it tests you physically. So your mind is going to be tested before your body gets tested. We think resilience looks like never failing. But today, in this show, in this podcast, in this broadcast, Terry reminded us that resilience is failing again and again and rising anyway. Even if it hurts, even if it's messy, even when you are the only one clapping for yourself. Because that happens. Sometimes somebody is clapping for us. Sometimes we have to clap for ourselves. What's the game you're in right now? Is it survival? Is it reinvention? Is it healing? Or is it forgiveness? Whatever field you're on, you need the mindset that matches the level of victory you're asking. Terry didn't build his mindset by waiting on life to get easier. He built it by getting stronger. He showed us that courage doesn't mean you're not scared. Courage means keep walking even when your knees are shaking.
Tune in every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. More independent artists, more videos, more Black-owned businesses, and more outreaches to the community, and more Chechi La Muñeca. All right? Jess TV, every Tuesday night. Who got next?
When you drop that booty down low. When you drop that booty down low.
You know what it is. It's your man, Jay Woo.
And your girl, Chechi La Muñeca from Who Got Next Radio every Tuesday night.
10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Jess TV via Roku nationwide, live
from Florida.